Welcome to Learn Python the Hard Way, Exercise 0 for Microsoft Windows. There's another video for OS X users that you can follow if you have OS X. And if you have Linux, I assume that you know how to install software. There's so many different flavors of Linux that it would be hard for me to show you how, so please just look at your particular distribution's way of installing software. In this exercise, I'm going to show you how to install a basic text editor and follow the instructions. Let's take a look. First thing you need to do is start up Internet Explorer or any browser you like. Then, first thing you do is install Notepad++. I've opened it here. Notepad++ is a very simple, straightforward text editor that will help you write the code. You can't use Microsoft Word. You can't use any text editors like that. It has to be a plain text editor. You also shouldn't use an IDE. So Notepad++ is a very good one. You go to the download link. Click on the installer. And then you can run it. Now this will take a little while to download, so I'll see you in a few seconds. Once it downloads, you can do the normal install process. Select English. If you want, create an icon on the desktop, but nothing else is necessary. Wait until it installs. And there you go. When it's done, it should show up over there in your dock. I put my dock on the left for the videos. You can put your main menu wherever you want. And there it is running. Next up, we want to run PowerShell. If you're familiar with Windows, there's a program called Command.exe, and that's what you use to do command line back in the old days, but now you use PowerShell. PowerShell is very good. To run PowerShell, I do this. I start my menu, I go down here to the search, and I type PowerShell. Do not run the ISE version. The ISE version is some sort of GUI, like graphical user interface of PowerShell. That is not going to help you. Stay away from it. Run the regular PowerShell. Click on it, and there you go. You can see I'm logged in. Everything works. Now, if you are unfamiliar with PowerShell, or the command line in general, there's an appendix to the book and a video for Windows that will teach you the very basics of command line. And it's also a very good kind of bootstrap to get you into programming. The command line is nothing to be afraid of. You don't have to believe people when they say that it's archaic or the old way to do things. It's fine to learn it. So just go learn the command line if you haven't used it before. Once you do that, keep in mind that throughout the instructions, I say the terminal program. For Windows users, that means PowerShell. On Linux, that means whatever terminal program you happen to be using. And on OS X, that means a program called terminal. I just use this one word to mean the same thing, a command line terminal interface. So on Windows, keep in mind that's PowerShell. After that, you need to install Python. So, first step, go to python.org download. Grab the installer for 2.7, not 3. Do not grab the installer for 3. This book does not work with Python 3 at all. Do not try to install it. If you already have Python 3 installed, uninstall Python 3. Grab the installer. Now, I've already installed Python, and it's the exact same process. You click on the button and it installs itself. So I'll just show you, once it's downloaded, what it does. But keep in mind, I've already done some of these things, so my setup is already working. Okay, the Windows installer is starting up. Now, if you want, you can install it just for yourself or all users. I'm going to do all users. Don't change the directories at all. All of this is fine. You can go ahead and say yes here. Hit finish. And now it should be installed, but there's one modification we have to make. We have to run this code here in PowerShell. So select it, copy. I just did a right click there and copied it. Come back to PowerShell. Now this is a little tricky. Don't click in here anywhere. Oh, see, it's very tricky. Click the icon up there, select Edit, and Paste. And there you go. Now hitting Enter, that's going to make it so we can type Python, but we got to quit PowerShell first for those settings to take effect. Get out of PowerShell. Start it back up. And now we should be able to type Python. And there we go. To get out of Python, you can either hold down Control-Z and hit Enter, or type quit. And there you go. Now that you've done that, you need to make a directory to put your exercises. Very simple. I do that. Then I can CD into it. After you do that, change into the directory. That's what CD did. And then use your editor to save a file there. Let's go here. Save it. Let's call it something like test.txt. Should be saved there. Go back to PowerShell. And there we see it. Now, if all of that seemed really daunting, go through the command line crash course and this will seem much easier. This will be fairly simple. Remember, that's in the appendix at the end of the book, so just go ahead and go through it. Other than that, that should be it. You can continue to exercise 1 and start trying to do the rest of the book. See you in exercise 1.